Hello, everyone. Corey here, coming in to do the energy update for April. We are now shifted fully into the Aries energy as we are moving also into the Neptune in Aries now taking place. And we've had a lot of this kind of really we're in ground zero. We're just in the beginning. We've moved through the Neptune in Pisces, which began in 2011. Think back to 2011 in your life. And in April of 2011, Neptune went into Pisces, where it kind of settled in since from then until now. And we'll have a little revisit again. And so it doesn't fully lock in until 2020. Like I think it's till like October of 2025, or maybe a little bit into 2026. I'm not sure. It's going to revisit. It's going to kind of bounce back into Pisces a little bit before, from what I can understand. I'm not an astrologer. So from what I can understand, it's going to do a little bit of bouncing around, but it's in Aries, and Neptune has now moved into Aries. It was at home in Pisces. That's where it was. But that was a big kind of spiritual journey. And it really took us on some real deep dives. I know what was happening in our lives in May of 2011. And I had to look back through my photos and my pictures this morning, as my birthday is on April Fool's Day. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the things that have happened since my birthday in 2011 until now is crazy. One of the biggest things I will never forget is a miracle that had unfolded in our lives with my daughter, and seeing how the power of healing really does work. That began in like January, February. Well, she was sick for almost like October until like February, March. Like there was just a whole journey. And then it was like a whole pile of things. And looking through the pictures, I could kind of see this evolution of self. And we do change, of course. So 2011, I definitely wasn't the age I am today. And so here I am now at 54, and seeing those big changes and those big differences, and how it was just like I went from like I turned 40 that year. So I had just turned 40 years old that at the time of when Neptune went into Pisces. Now I am Aries. I have I think my Venus, the only place I have Pisces in my Venus, but I am surrounded by Piscean energy. Everyone in my life that are like my daughter, her husband, my mother, Pisces, all Pisces people. And so, but at 40, so I hit that milestone in my life. And then it was like this 14-year journey. And now to be 54 years old, and the evolution of myself and how life has changed, what has evolved, what has grown. And what I discovered, or I just lost my spot for a moment. I had to answer text. And so just really discovering, looking back and really noticing how much evolved, or how much have changed. And like I said, from 40 to 54, nobody can ever tell me there's not a big difference. When younger versions or younger people come in and just say, oh, there is no difference, there's not that big a difference. Oh yeah, really? Wait and see. Wait and see. I would never dare say that to someone who is beyond my years. And because I'm very aware of how much we change. 40 was a massive journey for myself. And I took a big journey through my 40s, and life changed, and I changed. And there was kind of everything changed, a move, the changing in business, careers, everything, health wise, the ups, the downs, the ins and outs, the unexpected, the knowing of things, or things not going as we thought they were, a marriage, changing my last name, witnessing miracles, and having a major back surgery. I sold my motorcycle that I used to ride motorcycle. I sold all that. I totally I just totally could see this movement of my life, and to where I am today as we are packing and we're on the move again, and we are moving into a time in our lives of where we are purchasing our house together now as a married couple. And so the search, the find, and the visions, and the envisioning processes that I had been on, and the creating vision boards and dreams, and moving into dreams, all of this all played out through that Neptune. Neptune's at home in Pisces. It is moving into Aries. It is shifting and changing the identity of the Aries energy for 14 years. It is a sense of almost like it's giving us the opportunity to feel more liberated, to have that sense of finally moving forward. But this is not the only thing that happens. It does really truly bring us into a place of clarity and a sense of knowing. And so it can also distance you. It can distance you from experiences, from people. It can start to move you in a whole new direction. It can create distance and divide in a gap in geographically from people. And this is also an energy and a time, because Aries is a leadership sign. It is about the authority. It works very differently when we're in, say, a fire sign of Aries versus being in a fire sign of Leo or Sagittarius. Having your sun sign in Aries is very different from having an ascendant as Aries. And so there's just this differences, but there is this change with this month's energy. And now that we've kind of moved into the April month, into the April energy of the Aries, is that it is asking us to look back, to not to live back, but to look back, to backtrack a little bit, and to really look at where you have been and how far you have come. And look at the areas of where you may not have really evolved at all, the areas where there may have been still blocks. And of course, we have Saturn going into Aries as well. So the Saturn going into Aries is going to bring about another change. Again, there is just a lot that's happening in this Aries energy. And it's happening throughout the year. It's like Aries, the Aryan energy is kind of taken like a center stage a little bit. And it's not an ego thing. Don't get caught up in your ego. This is an energy thing. And so looking back throughout those last 14 years of life, looking back through, even I want to say, go back to 2008, go back to 2009, and go back to 2010, and then come forward again. And if you were only being born during those times, then you have less times. Or this may have been when you started your family. This may have been when you started a business, a career. And you may be at a stage like from 2011 to now, 14 years later, you're going, I really don't know if this is for me anymore. I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if this is who I am anymore. And what they're telling you is that it's okay to look at other options. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to move beyond who and what you thought you had to be. That it's you who has to take that authority, take that sense of inner authority, and allow it to give you the courage to go on the journey of self-discovery. Really take that deeper dive, that deeper look into the possibilities of what else is there for me. Maybe I want to take a whole hero's journey. Maybe I want to discover, more about myself. Maybe this path that I've been on is not really working for me. It's not serving me. I thought it was going to be this, but what I thought it was going to be, it is not. And that comes with our ability to have expectations and assumptions. And we do a lot of assuming, right? It's like, oh, well, this has to be my path. This is what I love. And it's like, but this doesn't feel right to me. I don't feel at home. So what was I chasing? What was I looking for? What was I following? And there's a lot of things that I know I have done in filling my wall full of diplomas and certificates that I am no longer working on at all. That it's areas I don't work in. And it's not just in spirituality, it's in I was an advanced esthetician. I'm an hairstylist, advanced colorist, like all of those things were all a part of who I was. Hair extensions, eyelash tinting and perming and oh God, every form of hair extension you can do. And I trained in all of this stuff way back. I trained in it before it became popular. I trained in it years ago and thought, this is going to be so great. It's going to be so wonderful. And then I watched it kind of fizzle and die because people were not willing to invest. Then social media hit, and then it was a game changer and it changed everything. But by that time, I was beginning to already be removed from that world and beginning to move into the spiritual world. And so I could have lived with a lot of resentment of going, well, I was doing this way back when, but it's like, yeah, you were very aware of those things, but now then you evolved and then you grew. And so we're here to grow, we're here to evolve. And it's given us the opportunity in April that we can kind of let the wind take our sails and take us on a journey and allow ourselves to journey into the unknown, journey into maybe something that we're revisiting or something that we are unaware of, that we don't even know anymore, that just doesn't we just got this feeling inside of ourselves that we have to go find something. And often I will hear people saying, I used to say the same thing myself, I feel like something really big is happening. I'm like, there's always something really big happening. There's always something. Hi, Phoebe. There's always something really, really big happening. There's always something that's out there. But if you're not hearing about it, you don't know about it. Like the crazy earthquakes that are happening, the people throughout the areas of that Myanmar and the effects of it. And then I'll mention it to people and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's where we focus. It's what we know and what we see. And sometimes we're being given these experiences in our lives where we are opening up, where our eyes open, our hearts open, and we see the world differently, and we see people differently, we see things differently, and everything becomes a little bit different, including us. Can't go back, but we can look at where we've been and we can really go back and just say, have I really evolved beyond that point? Have I done anything any different? No wonder I feel so stagnant. No wonder I feel tired. No wonder I feel this way. I wonder if I just add this one little element, if I step into a place of curiosity, if I open my heart, if I open my eyes, if I let myself see, if I look in the area that I really don't think I agree with, maybe I'll find something new. We are experiencing a lot of change. We're experiencing a lot of change in ourselves. We are shifting, and we are shifting in big ways. And there is no real going back. We don't get to go back. We get to go forward from here. And it's all one big loop, right? It is one big loop, but it's not a loop that's meant to keep spinning us around on the bottom floor. It is meant to be like a spiral. It is like a staircase. And when we work in, like, say, spiral dynamics, or you work with seeing how energy moves, you see the coils, you see that we open up. And so we are moving into a big time of where, when we speak about, like, say, being spiritual or having insight or intuition, is we are enhancing. This is being enhanced within us, and it's given us the opportunity to either continue to numb or to begin to feel. So it is a time of great feeling, and it comes with some powerful feelers. But it also comes with powerful action. It brings in this desire, this sense of, so if I could look at, like, Aries, it's like, well, Aries is big. Sometimes it's loud. And I'm like, how about it's passionate? How about it's passionate? So it's what are we passionate about? What is it that I'm really passionate about? And if I were to be honest with myself, what have I been continually doing that's just continually feeding the shadow's desires to fill these unmet, so-called unmet needs that I just, I always knew I was here to be a somebody, and so when we can break down those stories and get to some truths, you discover, well, I'm already a somebody. So now what? What if? What if? So there is a magical train, a magical energy train, the ghost train. I think this is the ghost train. There is a real magical energy that is here for us. And this is coming with this Neptune energy. Is it all rainbow, sunshines, and butterflies? Frig, no. The last 14 years with Neptune and Pisces in the last house was about spiritual evolution, about growth. It was not about rainbows, sunshines, and butterflies at all. But now Neptune is going to be landing itself out of its home. It's not at home in Aries. It's not it's not a natural place for it to be. It don't really belong there, but it has to go there. There's a lot of places we have to go that we may not feel comfortable, but that's the whole point, not to get too comfortable, not to get too comfortable in our truths, in our thoughts, in that thought that, oh, I have to do this forever. And because, it's the systematic beliefs of, you have to make sure you're stable, you have to do this. But how about you make sure you're happy? How about you make sure you're happy? How about you make sure you're living life every day? Because we don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know what that brings to us. We don't know where we go from here all the time. What we do know is that this is an opportunity of new beginnings, that we get the opportunity to begin again. We are in the energy in the first house. Neptune has moved into the self. In the 12th house, it is a lot of we. It is a lot of the about we, about the collective. And now we're moving into the self again. And who is this self? So about identity, about how we identify, about the importance of self, which means also the importance of other people. But it is about looking in that mirror and just telling yourselves, it's like, I'm choosing this. If it's a misery that I'm choosing, why am I choosing this? Why am I continually choosing to be here? And so this is where we work with identities. And so we're here to now to begin to, redefine, reshape, restructure, rebuild. A lot of re's, replace. A lot of those re's are coming up, and that it's like, yeah, you're not going to recreate the wheel, but the wheel will evolve with time. We don't ride around with the horse and buggy as much as we used to. We now have vehicles, we have cars, and they're also evolving as well. And so the wheels on those cars are not like old wooden wheels. They are, pretty high-end wheels. Like, they're pretty fancy now compared to what tires used to be, what used to be a wheel. But if you were to look at the wheel card in tarot and see the wheel card as something being trapped in there, and it's like it's stuck for a long time. Well, when it's now shifted and moved, okay, so now there's water flowing. So there is great possibility of creativity, higher expressions, kind of clarity in the mind, being able to really fully embody this sense of leadership within self. And so April is so full and is so packed with a time of regeneration and self-discovery. What's underneath all of the winter decay? What's going to pop up in the spring? What's going to blossom? What's going to bloom? What's going to be new? What's going to come? What's going to reveal itself? What else is there to be seen? And of course, there's a lot of other things that are moving. It's just, this is the kind of the focal point of where the energy is kind of sitting there. Now, I've been speaking about, and in one of my videos, I was speaking about like new technology or something, and I'm like, something new, machinery in hospital or something like that, but something new, innovative. And then I seen on, can't remember. Her last name's Gregory. Oh God, I just had a moment. I'm so sorry. But in her astrology, but she had said that somebody made a comment. That's what it was. Somebody had made a comment and said to her, hey, did you know about this big telescope? This big telescope that's supposed to be able to see even further and beyond what we've ever been able to see, and it's being released. And I'm like, that's probably what it was that I seen. It's like, it to me, it was something that was going to be able to really see through the body, to see through things. And so the universe, right? So we are going to be able to see much farther, vaster, to see beyond. And it's moving us into a time of where we have the opportunity to see beyond even our own bullshit stories, to see beyond the shadows limitations. It is bringing in a light. It is lighting a fire. It is bringing in that desire. It is moving us in this new direction, but it's asking us to look at what is filling our cup, and what we are filling our cup with, and looking at the exposure of light, and also the what we are exposing ourselves to. How much toxicity are we exposing ourselves to in just like doom scrolling? And I had gotten into that myself, not gonna lie, when I was so uncertain of where we're going, what we're doing, and I was losing hope. Like, it was just like, why bother? Why bother? I don't even know why I'm doing this. I don't even know why I'm doing this. Nobody's listening. You're under the thumb and the control of social media, of these places. They dictate, they control, they make you like a puppet or a monkey. You better perform, you better do this, or no one's going to see it. And so there's this great, powerful, commanding energy that is coming from the imposter syndrome, or it's coming from the imposter. It's coming from the imitation. So it's coming from the imitation light. And it's coming from that energy that plays God with all of our futures and all of our lives. And it was just like this aha moment when I seen the spark of the divine, and when I seen the true light enter, and I've seen this come in. It was just like, yeah, you know what? Of course, this is going to happen. Of course, we're going to experience this, because Neptune, also in Aries, is going to bring in that spiritual warfare energy. It is under attack in some way, but it is that revolution that we start to take and say, you don't own me, you don't control me, because social media, online presence is not all there is. And so it's having and expanding like an octopus, right? Expanding out your tentacles, opening up, and just allowing yourself to be wherever, to do whatever you need to do for your life, but get out of the doom, right? It is time to get out of the dungeon, out of the doom and gloom, and time to start to not be controlled by it, because the fear is causing a greater divide. So if you've been waiting because the energy has been telling you, oh, everything is going to end, your relationships are going to end, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. It's like, but where's the energy coming from? That energy is being accumulated through the collective consciousness, through society, through the media, through news, through all of those areas. But that doesn't get to speak for God. It doesn't get to be God. There is something that is greater. There is something that is more, and it has the power to change and to make a change. And if you were to look at the number of everyday people in comparison to all of the pile right here, why do we think they need us to be numbed down, to be numb, to be fighting, to be arguing, to be divided? Because the power is in the numbers. And it's the power in the numbers. If we're not giving so much of our energy and our time to draw attention to those places, then They don't get the limelight. Since when did politicians become celebrities? Since when did, since when did we move under a greater control and be so influenced by something beyond us in such a way? When did we stop playing? When did we stop living? When did we stop being outside? When did we stop breathing in the beautiful air? When did we stop going out into the sunshine? The more we're told we can't. The more we're told it's bad for us. It's not good. It's not safe, but it's what we need. Nature is calling us. The universe, the light of truth is calling us, and it's calling us to come back in as an evolved self into a deeper awareness of what we really truly are here to do. And we are here to be the best human beings that we can be, to show up for ourselves and to show up for others, to be there, to be a loyal and dedicated participant in our human connections and in our human life, and to really truly move beyond. Now, this is only April, and look what we've already experienced since April. This is going to be a little bit of a crazy little journey, and it's going to be a crazy little journey for a bit longer. May is going to bring a opening, a breather, but it can be it can be exhilarating. It can be like going on the roller coaster, and you don't want to go on again, but yet you want to experience it again. Well, that's this. It's like the roller coaster ride stopped, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, I survived that. Let's do that again. I want to go for another ride. But I want a different ride. I don't want to ride the same. I don't want to ride through the danger zone the same way. I don't want to ride through this. I want to ride through the higher expression of emotions. I want to ride through the joy. I want to be able to scream out loud. I want to be able to have fun. I don't want to be a carbon copy. I don't want to be this. I want to be me. And I want to be authentically me. And I want to be true to me. And I want to be true to my truth and not to my misery. I don't want to keep feeding my shadow. I don't want to keep feeding and fueling the exhaustion. I want to move beyond. And if I want to move beyond, I'm going to have to be the one to start to take the journey to move beyond. So it is bringing us into a time of where we are finding a way, finding our new way, finding a breath of fresh air. Now, not everyone, of course, is in the same energy. This is the energy of the monthly energy. It doesn't mean that it's going to fully align, depending on what your natal chart looks like, depending on your gene keys, depending on your human design, depending on you. And these are all little pieces and aspects that gives us a deep dive into who we are. The other part is who we created, who you created. And you created this version of you. You created this. And so you got the opportunity to create this version of you that exists. And you also have the free will opportunity to change it. So we are working a lot with the solar plexus. We're working a lot with our power. And there is a lot of power, and the power of love versus the love of power. We are battling both this month. Both are being battled and both are challenging us. But it's really waking up. My people out there, when you look at your elements, those of you who struggle with not having a lot of water in your chart, that struggles with that, struggle is not the word, who doesn't have a lot of water in your chart, this shift, look at that jazz, this shift that is happening has kind of requires you to now to experience moments and times of where you've been able to escape reality before, or kind of keep avoiding facing the world or facing things or looking at things. And it's bringing you into a time of where you're going to be experiencing those emotional journeys. And it's going to be a lot of emotions. Now, it doesn't mean bad or good, it just means emotion. So it could be where finally you're happy or you're enthusiastic, and you've never been able to be that like that happy, joyful person. Or it may be where you went into a place of shutdown and not feeling any emotions. And so now you're kind of waking up to feel these emotions. And this last journey is, you've signed up for that somehow, but the last journey was really helping you spiritually evolve so that then you can now emotionally evolve. So yeah, there's just this emotional, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like now it's about emotional evolution for those with the element of water, and just finding connecting with people who have a lot of that water sign, and being like almost like a magnetic pull, so that you can um, find your way from sacral to solar plexus. That's what it feels like. It's like from sacral to, so I'm not living fully in my emotional. So I'm not living in my lower emotional energies, and I'm rising up. And so there's something is like, so it's like a water mill, or um, like a water plant of some sort, it's just like this flow that we get your emotions flowing, we get and so this gets your creativity flowing. And so it's bringing in this sense of creativity, and this sense of liveliness, and this sense of deeper understanding and deeper connections. And it's playing out for anyone who's kind of connected with that lower, who doesn't have a lot of the element of water. And then, of course, for those who have a lot less element of fire in your chart, like the element of fire, it's really showing me this like evolution of like, if you haven't got a lot of fire, the energy, the fire that's coming just from the Neptune and from the Saturn and from, well, the Aries energy right now, this is time to really get going. If you're about to start a project, if you're about to do a move, if you're about to do something, get all the things done that you need to do, because this is time for you to plug in. It's like a generator, and it's or a charging station. And it's like you're charging up, and it's charging up that fire, and it's giving you life. It's giving you a boost. And this boost can be a boost enough to really help you to project forward, to be like a rocket ship and take off out there, to get going, to get moving. But it is a big, big month. And of course, we're not done with those weather patterns. We are going to still see, like I said, and I'm like, I couldn't explain it. All I could see was water was falling, and I'm like, is this a hurricane? What is this? Or why am I seeing all this mess? And then, so of course, then there was the earthquake, but we're not done. We are not done with those weather patterns. We still have a big influence. And of course, we're going to have a shock to humanity, which is going to reveal itself as well. We're also going to have a lot of redirections, like I said, right? It's like replanning, restructuring, rebuilding. Expect the unexpected. Don't get yourself so locked into things being one way or the other way. It is going to bring about change. In Canada, we are coming into the election time, of course, the politician stuff, and really truly recognizing the power of influence, and how there is manipulation, there is control. It's everywhere. It's not about this or that side. It's that it is everywhere. But it's about remembering. It's about remembering who we are. It's about remembering what we are. It is about the identity and how we identify and how we show up. And so it changes the landscape and the identity. And so the landscape geographically, with all these shifts, is going to be a massive change in the landscape as well. So there is more things that's coming from the earth, whether it's more earthquakes, volcanoes, I don't know what it is, but it changes. There is it's like the earth is moving or something. And then, of course, I keep seeing like the water trying to come in. So it's almost like you can almost see, like, if you are someone who's a fire sign, you have a lot of water sign people in your life, you may notice that their water may be kind of, because they're going through turbulent or changes, or they have to really level up and step up in their lives. If you're a fire sign around a lot of water people, you're going to notice that there is the kind of teeter-tottering back and forth between your fire and their water. And it can be a beautiful reflection. The fire can warm up the water, and the water can be a reflection for the fire. It can really work well together. It can be a joyous kind of time, or like I said, it can be where everything kind of goes dark and dampens out. I do have a heads up for all of my people who do have businesses built on social media, and that is to make sure you have, and I've been saying this for months, make sure you have your like subscriber list, make sure you have people, that you can, that another way that you can connect to your people to stay in touch. Don't be reliant upon your social media accounts. There is something that just feels like everything feels like being unplugged or disconnected, and it's probably temporary, but it changes things when things come back. I don't know what that is, but I'm seeing it unfolding. And of course, I don't think we are done with seeing some big moments. And so there's going to be a pivotal, life-changing moment or life-changing experience. It started to unfold. I could feel the energy around the 29th, but it is going to be something that kind of stops us in our tracks and just say, whoa, was I a part of that? Was I like, get out of the anger. That's the get as far away from the anger of all of what's happening and return to love, because returning to love is the thing that's going to bring us back to being able to evolve instead of keep looping around and going back into circles. It's going to be a big month. It's going to be big energy, and I'll share a lot more in the weeklies as well, but this is what I'm getting for the monthly. I send you so much love, and I look forward to seeing more of you. And this is 31st. So my birthday is tomorrow. But so tonight on the 31st, if you're watching this on the 31st, I will be live on Facebook and on YouTube, and I'll be doing some live readings. So you can come join me there. It's my give back. My give back when I take time to be able to just give back to people for the love and support that you do show to me. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful month, and I will speak with you soon. Bye-bye.